be sure to check out these newly published and upcoming adult fiction novels from some of today's best-selling authors. All of the books can be found in multiple formats and placed on hold for pickup at the Oakville Public Library. First up, we have Liberty by the critically acclaimed and Whiting Award-winning author Kaitlyn Greene. Liberty was named one of the most anticipated books of 2021 by the Oprah Magazine, Publisher's Lunch, BuzzFeed, Bookpage, Harper's Bazaar, and many more. Coming of age, as a free-born Black girl in Reconstruction-era Brooklyn, Liberty Sampson is all too aware that her purposeful mother, a practicing physician, has a vision for their future together. Liberty is to go to medical school and practice alongside her. But Liberty, drawn more to music than science, feels stifled by her mother's choices and is hungry for something else. Is there really only one way to have an autonomous life? And she is constantly reminded that, unlike her mother, who can pass, Liberty has skin that is too dark. When a young man from Haiti proposes to Liberty and promises she will be his equal on the island, she accepts only to discover that she is still subordinate to him and all men. As she tries to parse what freedom actually means for Black women, Liberty struggles with where she might find it, for herself and for generations to come. This book is inspired by the life of the first Black female doctors in the United States, and rich with historical detail. Kaitlyn Greene's new and immersive novel will resonate with readers eager to understand our present through a deep, moving, and lyrical dive into our complicated past. Author Jacqueline Woodson states that Liberty is one of the most thoughtful and amazingly beautiful books I've read all year. Kaitlyn Greene is a master storyteller. Liberty can be found at the Oakville Public Library and placed on hold today. Next up, we have the latest novel by New York Times bestselling author Kate Quinn. Kate Quinn is the author of the popular historical fiction novels The Huntress and The Alice Network. It is 1940, and as England prepares to fight the Nazis, three very different women answer the call to a mysterious country estate, Bletchley Park, where the best minds in Britain train to break German military codes. Osla is the girl who has everything, beauty, wealth, and the dashing Prince Philip of Greece sending her roses. But as she burns to prove herself as more than a society girl, and puts her fluent German to use as a translator of decoded enemy secrets, self-made Mab, product of East End London poverty, works the legendary code-breaking machines as she conceals old wounds and looks for a socially advantageous husband. Both Osla and Mab are quick to see the potential in local village spinster Beth, whose shyness conceals a brilliant facility with puzzles, and soon Beth spreads her wings as one of the park's few female cryptanalysts. But war, loss, and the impossible pressure of secrecy will tear the three apart. Now in 1947, as the royal wedding of Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip whips post-war Britain into a fever, three friends turned enemies are reunited by a mysterious encrypted letter, the key to which lies buried in the long-ago betrayal that destroyed their friendship and left one of them confined to an asylum. A mysterious traitor has emerged from the shadows of their Bletchley Park past, and now Osla, Mab, and Beth must resurrect their old alliance and crack one last code together. But each petal they remove from the rose code brings danger, and their true enemy that much closer. The Rose Code is set to be released on March 9th, 2021, so be sure to place a hold on the book at the Oakville Public Library today. Next we have We Begin at the End by Chris Whittaker. Walker has never left the coastal California town where he grew up. He may have become the chief of police, but he's still trying to heal the old wound of having given the testimony that sent his best friend Vincent King to prison decades before. Now 30 years later, Vincent is being released. Duchess is a 13-year-old self-proclaimed outlaw. Her mother, Star, grew up with Walk and Vincent. Walk is in overdrive, trying to protect them, but Vincent and Star seem bent on sliding deeper into self-destruction. Star always burned bright, but recently that light has dimmed, leaving Duchess to parent not only her mother, but her 5-year-old brother. Now she's just trying to survive and keep her family together. A 40-something-year-old sheriff and a 13-year-old girl may not seem to have a lot in common, but they both have come to expect that people will disappoint you, loved ones will leave you, and if you open your heart, it will be broken. So when trouble arrives with Vincent King, Walk and Duchess find they will be unable to do anything but usher it in, arms wide closed. Kirkus Reviews states, "We Begin at the End" is, quote, "an impressive, often lyrical thriller. Whittaker crafts an absorbing plot around crimes in the present and secrets long buried, springing surprises to the very end. A fierce 13-year-old propels this dark, moving thriller." And best-selling author Jane Harper states the book is, quote, "a beautifully written mystery, packed with unforgettable characters. An intricately woven portrait of small-town intrigue where old and new sins collide. We Begin at the End can be placed on hold at the Oakville Public Library today." Lastly, we have A Town Called Solas by New York Times bestselling author Mary Lawson. This is Mary Lawson's first novel after nearly a decade, and she brings a fresh and timely novel that is different in subject but just as emotional and atmospheric as her beloved earlier works. The book begins with a family in crisis. Rebellious teenager Rose has been missing for weeks with no word, and Rose's younger sister, the feisty and fierce Clara, keeps a daily vigil in the living room window, hoping for her siblings' return. Now enter 30-ish Liam Kane, newly divorced, newly unemployed, newly arrived in this small northern town, where he promptly moves into the house next door, watched suspiciously by astonished and dismayed Clara, whose elderly friend Mrs. Orchard owns the home. Around the time of Rose's disappearance, Mrs. Orchard was sent for a short stay in hospital, and Clara promised to keep an eye on the house and its remaining occupant, Mrs. Orchard's cat, Moses. As the novel unfolds, so does the mystery of what has transpired between Mrs. Orchard and the newly arrived stranger. Told through three distinct, compelling points of view, Clara's, Mrs. Orchard's, and Liam Kane's, the novel cuts back and forth among these unforgettable characters to uncover the layers of grief, remorse, and love that connect families, both the ones we're born into and the ones we choose. A Town Called Solas can be placed on hold for pickup at the Oakville Public Library today. We hope you enjoy some of these new and recently published novels. Be sure to check them out on the Oakville Public Library's website, www.opl.on.ca, and we look forward to seeing you in the branch to pick them up.